and I'm just gonna wait here and wait for people to get on. I'm gonna play a video, talk about a little bit with me. I'm not gonna really get into anything anymore because I don't really know what I'm allowed to say at court today. So I don't know. I was told by cops I was safe under the First Amendment, but for my peace of mind and if I am hurting anybody, hey, big boss, I'm going to just refrain from using any type of language that could refer to my situation. But I am going to play a video on mental health and because that's what I want to do. Might be able to silence my mouth, but I'm gonna keep it moving. And what'd you say? How are you doing, brother? Going through it. How are you? I'm hoping we get a little bit of a turnout. It's getting better, and people are interacting with this, and wow, I made my juice really sweet with that zero sugar stuff. Ooh, got to make some health changes. Got to get to the gym. Start taking care of myself better. Good. Glad you're doing well. I'm going to play a video in a few minutes. It's just a small clip. We don't get too many people in on here. I'll start playing it, and anybody wants to watch it later, because a lot of times after I put a live out, people will catch it. So I'm gonna put this on, and then hopefully we don't get a commercial. So anyway, welcome here. You've seen the title. I'm gonna play a video on mental health, and I can't really talk about my situation anymore because I don't know what I'm allowed to say. I had an adjournment on my legal case on the restraining order, so I'm gonna stop talking about my situation, but I'm not gonna stop playing these videos for anybody that it could help. And if you guys want to talk about mental health or situations in a marriage, I just won't talk about my situation. So welcome everybody. So stay tuned for the video. I hope you guys can hear it all well. If you can't hear it, just let me know, and I'll try to do something else. All right, here we go.
Guys, I'm Charmin from the Marriage Recovery Center, and I want to take a few moments to talk to you guys about the impact of narcissism and emotional abuse on you. First, let me set the stage a little bit and talk about narcissism. Narcissism really is the current buzzword used to try to capture a description of someone who is very self-absorbed. They're self-serving. They're proud. They live in such a way that they lack empathy and treat you as if you are simply an extension of them to be used for their benefit. You lose a sense of yourself, who you are. In so many cases, you feel consumed by them. You are told how to think, how to feel, how to be, and have it implied to you that how you are thinking, how you are believing, how you are being is foolish, it is ignorant, it is stupid, it is less than, because it doesn't fit their agenda and how they want you to perceive the world. None of being in a relationship with someone characterized like this has anything to do with cultivating a friendship. It's all about tit for tat, giving and taking, keeping score, nothing about just cultivating life together with arms linked, walking through this together. So this all boils down, this term of narcissism all boils down to someone who is so proud and so unwilling to do the work that needs to be done in order to cultivate a healthy relationship. There's no room for connection. There's no room to grow. There's no room for you to be yourself because they are so strongly implying that you must fit into what they're saying of you in order to be in a relationship with them. You don't get to have your own opinion. You don't get to have your own thoughts or feelings or dreams or hopes or fears or pain. All you get to do is be there for them. So there is a spectrum. There is outright animosity and grandiosity and toxicity that is blatant. And then on the other side, there is the really covert manipulation where at every turn, you think you're doing okay, you're not really sure what's going on, but you're constantly getting a message that you will never measure up, that there's no value in what you bring to the table, and that you're only here to benefit them. Anyone who has lived any length of time with someone who has been so oppressive that minimizes your sense of self will feel devalued, diminished. You will lose your voice. You will be unable to even trust yourself. And what tends to happen is you get very complacent and start to feel all kinds of other biopsychosocial, emotional effects of that. So let me talk a little bit more about that. When constantly told that you have nothing of value to bring to the relationship, when who you are is unimportant, it's too stupid, it's too foolish, it's, too whatever, and you are belittled, it creates a sense of absolute isolation and feeling alone, feeling very, very alone and disconnected. Living under high stress, you're trying to meet these demands while constantly being told that you will never measure up. You feel absolutely devalued and deeply, deeply disapproved of. Which taps into what I believe is the biggest question, the deepest question that a man asks. Deep in his heart, he's always asking the question, do I have what it takes? Do I have what it takes to be a good man, to be a strong leader, to be a great lover, to be a good father and a good husband? Do I have what it takes? And in a relationship, especially like this, everywhere you look, you are being told, no, you do not. So this gets manifested into fear, anxiety, depression, complacency, insomnia, any number of PTSD symptoms like flashbacks and chronic fatigue. There's just this sense of being stuck and numb and dead. You start to feel like the abuser often because on one hand they're accusing you of those things, and so you wonder, am I really that? But also you do learn to reflect those things back because that's how you learn to survive in this relationship. That's how you function in this environment. That's the only thing that's accepted. And so in so many ways there is so much dissonance between who you know you are and who you're acting out simply because the environment creates that in you. The bigger picture, the end result after so many years, what you notice most of all under the fear, the depression, the anxiety, and feeling alone is that you are unable to connect and you have very little sense of hope for the future or for your marriage. You just feel like you're barely surviving every day, keeping your head above the water. You have nothing left to give because everything is being discounted. That's where we want to come in and help. For right now, let me give you a quick exercise that can help you start to look at what the landscape really is. And it's this. Take some time to sit down and write out the ways that you've been harmed. I want you to get in a quiet place where you don't have to look over your shoulder, you don't have to share this with anyone. This is just about you taking a real look at your real experience. to write it down from your perception, not someone else's words, not what someone else has described it as, but your own perception. What do you believe about how you've been harmed? What do you know to be true about what you've lost and how you've been changed in this relationship? And the point is not to keep a record of wrongs, per se. The point is actually so that you're getting past denial. You have to push past what you hoped or dreamed or thought you saw or the vision you had for this and just look at what is. What have you lost and how have you been changed by this relationship? What is it that you need to regain? It gives you a place to start to see where you can rebuild and regather and reconstruct all of that part of you that's been so silenced and squashed. How have you been changed? Like, you're a different person. Some of those things are good. A lot of those things are not. You've got to look at those so that you can begin to see how to build into a changed person, yes, but the kind of person that you want to be. We would love to come alongside you and help you untangle the chaos and see your way through. So if this has resonated with you, please contact our office and let us set up some sessions that can help.
So that was a little. I mean, I watched that. I like that. I think she has a lot to say. I think it's helpful. I mean, if you guys are going through it, I mean, you wouldn't understand if you weren't going through it, you know. So, yeah, I see that big boss lady. That's awful. Yeah, I'm an advocate for, just I've done some horrible things in my life, but like I always had respect for women. I mean, I haven't always been the best. That's it. A lot more work, and then you would be done by yourself, so you would be fine, and then I could just go home to you if I needed you, and you could. Yes. You had to do a lot more work, and then you would be done by yourself. If I needed you and you could. Sure. Makes sense. So I hope that helped people. I have one more video. I mean, it's not, it's a little bit longer than this one. I liked it too. It talks about the Will Smith scenario, like how he lost it, and nobody realized how that was really just his breaking point of mental abuse on him. So, I mean, we all freaked out when when Will Smith did that. We were like, what the hell? He just lost his mind, though. Everybody kind of knows what he went through. But I don't know if I'm going to play that. And thank you for the that what you said there. Yo boy, Jenny. So, all right. So, with that being said, I'm gonna play that other video. I hope you guys enjoy it. I mean, I understand this is a new thing I'm doing. It's not hip hop. It's not music right now, but I feel like this is necessary, and I figured it's good content and it's healthy, But I can't answer any questions about my life right now because I'm going through a court case and I might be getting in trouble for the things that I have said, even though I didn't say people's names. So I'm being very cautious right now. So just bear with me here, and I'm gonna put another video on. All right, let's get it. Everybody can hear it. If you can't hear it, let me know.
On March the 27th, 2022, we witnessed a man's trauma cup fill to the top and overflow live on national television. It was supposed to be a memorable night, a night where a cultural icon would receive his just validation by winning the biggest award his industry could bestow upon him. And to be fair, March the 27th, 2022 was a memorable night. However, not for the reasons that Will Smith initially planned. At that evening's Academy Awards, after a joke had been made at the expense of his wife, Smith rose from his seat, took to the stage, drew his arm back, and slapped presenter Chris Rock in the face. While those in the audience and those of us at home tried to figure out whether or not what we saw was real or not, Smith removed all doubt when he yelled at Rock to keep his wife's name out of his effing mouth. Like clockwork, social media was quick with the discourse. On one hand, you had people condemning Smith's actions, some going as far as to say that Smith had left an irreparable black eye on black culture. On the other hand, you had people that supported him, people that said that they would have done the exact same thing if someone had disrespected their wife. And then you had the endless jokes and memes that came from all parts of the internet. But you know what I didn't hear anyone talking about? I didn't hear anyone talking about the lifelong guilt that Will Smith carries from witnessing his father continuously abuse his mother whenever he was young, and Smith not being able to do anything about it. I didn't hear anyone talk about the anxiety that comes from making your family decisions in the public eye. And I didn't hear anyone talk about the pressure that comes along with having to maintain a near perfect image, which is tied to your professional success. Oh, we were quick to make fun of the situation, but we were mum when it came to some of the potential causes of it. And look, I know I'm using a celebrity as my example here, but make no mistake about it. Every day, all across the globe, we have men that are dealing with trauma.
Anybody who came on and watching right now, we're watching a video on mental health. Basically, it's about men, how we it's a taboo thing for a man to be abused in a relationship. It happens every day. It's like something we don't talk about, and it's a real thing. So I just figured I'd do Wednesday nights and talk about mental health and marriages and relationships and that. So, and the fact that men oftentimes don't get heard. And that's just the point of this video. And it's not hip hop, but I figured there's one with Will Smith's name in it, so I thought it was pretty cool. All right, thank you for coming, and we can continue for playing this.
Anxiety, mental issues, and stress, which, if left unchecked, can lead to consequences like physical violence, depression, substance abuse, and self-harm, including suicide, which is one of the top killers of men under the age of 50. So then the question becomes, well, if all those issues lead to all of those consequences, then why don't men just get it together? Well, if you take a look at the wall of toxicity that stands between men and mental health, you can start to understand that just get it together is sometimes a little easier said than done. The building of this wall begins when we're little, when we're young. Little boys, they come and they sit down at the kitchen table and they are gifted their man box. They tear off the wrapping paper, remove the lid, look inside, and inside we find all of the emotions that society has deemed appropriate for the male image. Inside we have emotions like happiness, anger, and excitement. Missing, however, are emotions like fear, sadness, and vulnerability. These emotions are missing because somewhere, someone deemed these emotions feminine and therefore weak. The man box also comes with several ready-made tools. Comments like, man up, Real Men Don't Cry, and my mother's personal favorite, Get Your Priorities Straight, only serve to drive home the point that when it comes to the male image, weakness is not welcome. And so it's because of this fear of being deemed weak that it can be difficult for us to take full advantage of a resource like therapy. It's because of this conditioning that it can become hard for us to grasp the tools needed to get us through life-altering events, or the tools needed to create healthy relational communication, or the tools to just get us through the everyday hustle. It's because of this belief that we become afraid to ask for help. So what do? Well, we try to take care of it on our own, don't we? That's right. We reach out, we grab all that trauma and all that anxiety, we grab those mental issues, and we grab that stress and we roll it up in a little ball. We get in that ball, and then we start to push it down and down and down, and then even further down. And boy, do we think we're doing something, right? But in actuality, what's happening is all that trauma, anxiety, mental issues, and stress are behind us, raising up and up and up and up and further up until one day your trauma cup overflows. And when the trauma cup overflows, not only does it spill on us, but it also spills on our friends, our family, our loved ones, and in some cases, even innocent bystanders. And believe me when I tell you, the bigger the spill, the more dire the consequences. So what do we do about it? How do we fix it? How do we keep that trauma cup from overflowing in the first place?
So, I'm gonna stop that there.
Only there was some.
So the people that have been watching, you kind of got the point about the mental health, and and there's help out there. I mean, it's harder for us men, which it's easy for us to say. It's like a taboo thing to talk about, but just not singling out women in general, because it goes both ways. So I'd like, I figured, if someone's interested, I try to build a base for this. So I'm gonna try to look at some of these messages that sent here. Yeah. His head butt me in the face. I just moved my face in time. Wow, that's awful. It sounds terrible. I would imagine. I mean, you love somebody, you're supposed to, not want to hurt them. So, even if you're mad at them. Yeah, that's a lot of violence, Big Boss. What was that? It said 100. What is that? Joules. Thank you. I'm not really sure what that is. I know we have stuff like that. So appreciate that. Anyways, that's what tonight was about, and I hope if it helped anybody. We're building a case. We've had up over 100 people in and out of here, so I can see they're probably looking for our hip hop and Cuban link stuff. But tonight I feel like I don't want to stop doing it. Like I said, I kept talking about myself, but if anybody gets help from these videos, or motivate them to pay attention to their situation, men and women. So, so I say thank you for coming. If I could get one of my other partners to come on, I'll be back on tonight. We'll talk about some hip hop news. Love y'all. You have a good night. If I don't go back in, if you don't come back when I go on, have a nice night. Love talking to y'all. Jboss out.